It's the end of an era.
All that spare change I used to get.
Sorry, I spilled Bud Light on you.
I wrote a song. Sorry. Here we go.
The crisp, refreshing taste of Bud Light. Here we go.
The Jeff Fisher Show, brought to you by Bud Light, Buffalo Wild Wings, Super Park, and Dobbs Tire and Auto.
Welcome to the Jeff Fisher Show on a Victory Monday. How you doing out here? That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I hear things.
I heard some things.
I heard things. Good things about the Rams yesterday. Another great turnout. Jeff Fisher will be joining us in the second segment, as he always does. Right now, a big welcome for tight end Jared Cook, giving up his Monday night.
Thank you. Thank you.
How you doing, man?
Good. Doing well.
You sense the excitement? The last two games, you guys have really convinced some fans you've turned the corner here.
Yeah, we've definitely come along big, and as a team and offensively, we're definitely proving a lot of people wrong, and we got our heads down, and we're gonna keep grinding this thing out.
Well, not to get too far ahead, did you always know this was inside that locker room, what you guys are doing right now?
Absolutely, and we've been saying it since the beginning of the season that we have a lot of talent on this offense, and we had a lot of struggles early, and we kept saying it in the media. I know a lot of people probably didn't believe us, but now is the opportunity where you guys can actually see that we have guys in the right position and doing great things, especially with guys like Tavon, and we got Kellen back there. And now is the time that we are proving everything we've been saying this whole time.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, you got help from the defense again, a touchdown yesterday. In Indy, you got a defensive and a special team score, but 80 points in 2 games. Been a long time in these parts, and that doesn't happen very often in the NFL, averaging 40 points in back-to-back weeks. Jeff Fisher went back recommitting to the run after that San Francisco loss when you guys were 1-3. That seemed to make all the difference in the world because everything is clicking now. A lot of people looked at him like he was crazy at the point. We need to run the ball more? Yeah, you guys need to run the ball.
It definitely, the run game helps the pass game and vice versa. So in those first few games where we were struggling to get the run game going, once we got Zach back there comfortable and then Benny coming in for him, it's been kind of nonstop train. And because we can run the ball 30 times a game, but against like teams like Dallas where we were trying to drop back and pass the ball 30 to 40 times a game, it wasn't working because the O-line can't handle that. But now that we have that run game going and we're moving the ball downfield, and it's just hard-nosed football, and that does nothing but open up the pass game for us, which is what it's been doing.
Fair to say it was a search for an identity, and you found it, and you're running with it? Ground-based attack, play action?
I think you hit the nail on the head. It was just that lull in our offense that we didn't have. But now that we got the run game going, we got Zach going, and he's been doing a heck of a job kind of carrying this team.
Well, besides your voice, another thing I'm jealous of with you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Barry White over here,
let
right?
Let us borrow those pipes just for one game.
Look at all the ladies.
One 3-hour Sunday afternoon broadcast.
Oh, man.
The other thing is you never get too high, never get too low, even keel. Good game, subpar game, it's always the same Jared Cook. Where'd that come from?
Just playing, man. Playing football, it teaches you patience because you have these long seasons, especially like in college and getting into the league. You learn that it's a long season and it's a roller coaster season. And no matter how good or how bad you play, you always have to show up on Wednesday on practice, ready to go, and you have to show up the next Sunday or Thursday, whatever the next game is. So you have to keep a level head because you never know what could happen in this league. Like last night, y'all saw they were down by 24 points, the Patriots, and they just came back and they stayed steady, stayed with it, and came back and won. You never know what's going to happen in this league.
That steady demeanor, though, describes your head coach, too. I mean, you guys take your cue from him, and you've known him well. You haven't played for anybody really besides him.
Absolutely. Head coaches, their attitudes often trickle down to the players. If they're panicky, if they're struggling to find what we're going to do next, then that's kind of how your players are going to do. So we tap into his direction, and he leads us well.
You caught 4 for 80 yesterday, had a touchdown. Kellen Clemens been going to you in the red. he's throwing some bullets to you in the end zone. When he decides he's going to Jared Cook, man, he fits in a tight window. That thing's got some steam on it.
He's not throwing it to you. He's throwing it at you. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely has an arm on it. It gets a little bit faster to you than Sam's ball does, but you're absolutely right. He puts that thing on the dime and he puts it on the rope.
My favorite though is when you're running the seam, and he dumps that over. He threw a great pass. I mean, to you, to me, you're such a weapon in that. No linebacker is going to keep up with you, especially if they're in cover two. And then he fits it in there for you. And the other thing I liked yesterday is you guys overcame penalties. Okay. A couple of times you had a 19, a 20-yarder wiped out. You come right back with another 20 and 30-yarder. I don't know if 4 or 5 or 6 weeks ago you do that, but now you guys seem to just turn the page, say we'll get it back.
Well, I think 4 or 5 or 6 weeks ago we were the ones that were getting all the penalties and getting like 8 penalties a game, and you can't win in this league if you do that. So we've definitely toned it down in that area. That seam route was money.
Yeah, it was.
All week, all they ran was cover 3. So it was kind of an option route between the basic and the seam. So we were expecting them to give me cover 3, middle of the field close, and I run the basic, but they gave us that cover 2 look, and that's what we were hoping for.
Were you like, thank you or stupid? Either one works.
As soon as I came out of my break and I saw the safety drop into the numbers, I already knew where it was going, and I knew it was money. I was like, oh, this is game over. And that was an important drive for us to make, just for us, finishing off the game, but as well for kind of our pride. They drove down the field and kind of took something from us, and we knew we had something to go out and prove, and we finished it off on that drive.
Man. You did.
When you guys are lining up and it comes in from the sideline, you know you're going to run the football. When you line up and you check everything, I mean, I'm talking to the tackle you line up next to or the one you motion right behind. Do you guys know it's going to be a big play, or we got this just by the way they're set, or the way you guys are blocking right now?
It just depends on. A lot of times it has to do with kind of how the linebackers flow. But as long as the O-line gets to the second level and sticks on their man, those backs are going to hit those cuts. And as long as they kind of stretch it and put their foot in the ground and run off the heels of the lineman, then a lot of times it's going to be a big play. And the way that Zach and Beanie are running right now, they were hitting home runs every day yesterday.
It's fun to block for guys like that. Fun to block for guys like that.
Absolutely. We averaged, 7 yards a carry?
Something like that, yeah. Maybe more, I think, yeah.
Go
ahead, clap. That's awesome.
That's a good number.
It was a great day.
I saw something out of you. I've never seen a tight end decoy and end out. You just ran out of there, and he went with you, and the running back cut off that. That was impressive.
They have to guard it. They have to put somebody on it. So it's kind of like bluffing that in and getting them up out of there. And we got somebody either for that end if he runs upfield, or if he squeezes, we got somebody for it. So
one final thought here. How fun was it to see Tavon get loose?
It's always fun to see that guy go off, because it's like you never know what he's going to do, because he's so quick and he's so fast. With one jab step and one go, he can either take off, or he can play with you for a second and then take off. So it's like electric.
Yeah, it was electric. You guys were electric yesterday. Hey, thanks for coming out tonight. We really appreciate it.
No worries.
How about a hand for Jared Cook? Enjoy the rest of your night. And I know you're pulling. I know that you're probably pulling for A&M this weekend to get your Gamecocks in against. It's not going to happen. Mizzou's going to take care of Johnny Manziel.
I need Johnny M to ball out this week.
Oh no! Not this week.
We can't have
my Gamecocks need to win that East.
It should be fun though. It should be fun. Jared, thanks for coming out, man. We really appreciate it.
All right,
Jared Cook, everybody. When we come back, we're going to welcome in the head coach, Jeff Fisher. We'll take your questions and comments back in a moment on the Jeff Fisher Show on 101 ESPN and the St. Louis Rams Radio Network.
It's the end of an era.
All that spare change I used to get.
Sorry, I spilled Bud Light on you.
I wrote a song. Sorry. Here we go.
The crisp, refreshing taste of Bud Light. Here we go.
Hey, welcome back. The Jeff Fisher Show. Great turnout again tonight here in Creve Coeur. And we welcome in the head coach. Jeff, good evening.
How you guys doing?
Awesome.
Doing good?
Good.
Victory Monday night?
Yeah, looking forward to watching our next opponent here in about 20 minutes.
You get a chance to scout him, to scout them. But first, let's talk about a lot of things that went right for your football team yesterday. I, for one, liked how you handled adversity, whether it was a penalty on first down that wiped out a play, come right back. And I love the drive after the controversial call and the touchdown cut it to 27-21. DeMarco put it best. He said that was a big boy drive right there.
It was big time. Yeah, it was. And then the 2-point. You know, you got to get the 2-point.
Mm-hmm.
The 2-point puts you 2 scores, 14 up. And then, you know, obviously Rob's big play at the end. But it was a huge drive, yeah. I mean, the defense, we played a lot of snaps. I mean, time of possession was 38.5 or 39. We played a lot of snaps. You do that when you score fast or you score on defense or there's a turnover and a quick score. So they played a lot of snaps, and they played a lot of really good snaps inside, we call it the money zone, you know, inside the 20, the 10, you know, the tackles for losses. Joe had 6 tackles for losses, I think, in this game.
In one game.
Yeah.
That's astounding.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we did, with the exception of 2 draw plays that they schemed up pretty well, you know, kick, boom, and come down, block everybody, and then we handled that run game pretty well.
And Matt Forte is a pretty good back.
Yeah, he's going to make you miss on the checkdowns. We talked about that last week. That's hard, you know, and so you've got to mix your zone stuff up just because of the matchups outside with the big guys at times. But in zone, that's when he sets down, catches the ball, turns upfield, makes somebody miss. So, yeah, he's a good player.
When you made the recommitment to run the football, I remember you said that we're going to run the football, get back to basics. Was it a change in philosophy, change in strategy, or change in scheme? What was the difference?
It was we added scheme. We added personnel groupings. We wanted to feature the 2 tight ends, different combinations of the 2 tight ends. And now Corey's doing a really good job at the fullback spot. Lance can play that. The receivers are doing a great job blocking. It's interesting. I went back and looked at it. It's, you know, since we made the changes, we played 7 games. We're averaging 31 rushes per game. And that you have to do that, especially this time of the year. So 31 for 4.9.
That's big. That's the other part. I mean, you run into a brick wall 31 times.
Yeah.
You're getting production. You're getting 5 yards a carry.
152 yards a game in the last 7 weeks is our average.
So, I mean, that speaks to your running backs. I'll talk about them in a minute. But the offensive line, and you've done it by reshuffling. In the last few weeks, you lost Harvey Dahl. And yesterday in the middle of the game, you lost Chris Williams. Shelley Smith goes in. You guys don't seem to miss a beat.
Now they, Rod's done a good job. You know, he's getting it done. Shelley goes in, gets it done inside. Now, you know, they smell blood. You know, I mean, Peppers lined up right on him the first, 3rd down snap. You know, I thought he did a pretty good job there. So, yeah, the line's doing it, the tight ends are doing it. I said, even you know, on Tavon's, you know, the 3rd play of the game on the long run, you see Chris Gibbons make a big block. You see AP come from all the way the other side and make the block. But that's what's going on. The whole game they're doing that. You know, Brian Quick takes the DB out of bounds on one long run down the far sideline to where he can't make the play, and it's just been a huge commitment to it. No one's saying I want the ball or I didn't get any balls. You know, we're winning football games, and everybody's fine with that.
I love the Austin Pettis play. I went back and looked at that 5 times today. It gets more impressive every time I see it. Wow, that's effort.
How long have you sat on that Tavon Austin play? That little half. What do you call that? Half reverse, end around, come back around,
like they have a fancy,
pose the defense.
Yeah, score a touchdown.
Yeah, score a touchdown.
Hey, Shotty, why don't you call that touchdown play again? You know, we like touchdowns.
It was amazing design. Yeah.
Yeah, we had used it down south about 5 or 6 years ago with Adam Jones, his rookie year.
Really?
Yeah, he went 25 yards for a touchdown. Same thing, except Brad Hopkins got called for holding. So
that's too
didn't
bad.
come back to it. But, I mean, it takes a unique guy to do it. Now, you can imagine now he may continue with it, or he may reverse and come back, or we may not toss it to him. But what happens to that now, if you do it a couple more times, they're going to get edge conscious, and now you're creasing in the middle of defense.
See the smile on his face?
You know what's chilling, though? No. You know what's chilling here? Think about this. When was Adam Jones' rookie year? Is that maybe 8 years ago, 10 years ago?
Probably, yeah.
He remembers the infraction and who committed it. That's a great memory.
Coaches are funny now.
Yeah, well, players don't think that's funny, but yeah.
Yeah, coaches are funny. I always, even when I was playing, I remember Buddy remembering things that happened in games, 20 years ago and bringing them up. But I said, how does he have that kind of memory? But coaches are like that. I can't remember anything else, but things happen.
You remember when things go right and things don't go right. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about your defense. Well, let me go back to this. Let me go back to Kellen Clemens here. Let's talk about Kellen Clemens. I thought actually yesterday was, you talk about the state of quarterback play in the NFL, and you hear a lot of analysts nationally saying it's hard to find 32 guys. I thought yesterday was an example of two teams that have found backup quarterbacks who can play the game. I don't know that you'd see better quarterback play from backups on one field in the National Football League very often than yesterday. I don't know what your take on
against the respective defenses too. Because that's a credit to both of them. And Josh, we were concerned about Josh all week. It was because the way he extends plays and runs around, and he was 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he was completing 65% of his passes. I mean, he's running that offense, the entire offense, and so we were concerned about that, and I have more respect after seeing him in person on the field, what he did and how he extended plays, and by the way, how he got up off the ground a few times because he got smoked a few times.
Well, the Brockers hit. Yeah. The Brockers hit. I told DeMarco, I said, I'm impressed that he's up and moving around.
We started off early the first drive. James hit him once really good on an ad, and so but back to Kel. I mean, Kel's did a lot of really good things, but his play of the game was the play action fake, step up in the pocket, run to your left, and throw a perfect shot to Cookie on 3rd and 1. I mean, that was a 27-yard gain, and really flipped the field, kept the drive alive, and just shows you he can move around a little bit.
He is definitely not scared.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he's definitely not scared. He seems. It's kind of a blessing and a curse. You've seen this before with a guy named Curse or good pass rushers. When you're that good, they try to take you away. That's their whole game plan for guys like Robert Quinn. Their whole focus in pass protection is to keep him off the quarterback. How do you take advantage of that on the other end?
Well, I mean, the guys are doing it inside. See, what happens is if you're gonna hold the ball as a quarterback, you better edge and bang both of our ends. But the ball's coming out so quick, and they're using play action protection, and backs going to the ends. And that's the impressive thing with all of them, but Rob included, is he's still getting there with that. Now when they had to let their guard down and 2-minute and try to put the ball down the field, that's when he makes his play. Now, and I mentioned this earlier today, I think, one of the most impressive things about Rob, in addition to his athletic ability and defense and his ability to play run and rush the passer, is not to get frustrated when they grab you and pull you down back behind the quarterback and you don't get a call. That's hard on him, and it happens way too much. I mean, you see it
all the time.
Back the shoulder pad, head turned, pulled down, and he looks around and there's just no flag. It's like, really?
I'd like to see him throw a tantrum, maybe. I mean, you might get some attention that way, but
no. I mean, he just knows. I mean, that's the nature of our game. They're going to miss those calls. The eyes are going different directions. The referee is looking through on a right-handed quarterback. He's to the quarterback's right. He's looking through the quarterback to the left tackle. But as soon as anybody gets near the quarterback, he's got to come back to the quarterback. The umpire is looking back inside and he comes off a double team, and both the wing officials are on the tackles to start with. But as soon as pass shows, they move down. So, Rob they're all by himself. No eyes on him.
Things get missed. Like you can miss somebody being kicked in the open field.
Kicked in the open field. No, but
the rule, by the way, is intent. It's swing and hit or swing and miss. You're still gonna make a donation to charity.
Don't you think his brother helped him out inadvertently, though? I mean, he was actually pulling him away, and that's a big reason why he didn't make contact. I mean, it's a no-brainer if he makes contact.
Still, big brother scolded little brother, and it was over.
All right. So. Well, I have to ask you, too, about, I think you should be proud of us. We waited 12 minutes to talk about the most controversial call yesterday, the sack, Michael Brockers, the big hit he laid on Josh McCown. We couldn't understand why it was called.
See, they want football. That was football, right?
And again, and I always couch it by saying I understand what the NFL is doing, and I applaud that. But the problem is, common sense has to come in. If you can't make that hit, I don't know what else you can do in the game.
Well, let's rewind it. First off, he was down by contact, so there's no fumble. Okay, so James didn't know. They scooped the ball and went. So even if he doesn't throw the penalty flag, there's a sack, no fumble. Now it's third and a bunch, and they don't score a touchdown. But yeah, what basically the officiating department is encouraged by all those above them, the commissioner and everybody, to protect the safety players on the field. And there was a movement a long time ago, 10, 15 years ago, to protect the quarterback. And because the quarterbacks are important to our game. And so basically the officials are instructed to, and you don't like to use the word err because you don't want them to make a mistake, but to rule and officiate on the side of player safety. Right. And that is with respect to the quarterback, to a defenseless receiver, and a ball carrier. So basically anytime, in my opinion, obviously, we talked about this, it's not a foul. It probably would go on a teaching tape as to how to do it. It really is.
How to hit a quarterback.
Yeah, how to hit a quarterback.
Right.
Yeah,
Especially
with the ball in his hand
2013.
in those situations. Put your head across, put it on the side, hit him with your shoulder, not in the helmet, in the chest, and then land. Yeah, don't land on him. Land on the side. Exactly what Brock did.
Yeah.
So.
All right. You guys, you circled the wagons, went down the field, and got the touchdown and put the game out of reach.
Yeah, it was a
And
huge
so
drive.
that's why we can wait 12 minutes with you talking about that rather than that was great the way that worked out.
How was our boy here last night? Was he okay with
No.
it? No, you weren't?
With the call?
No. Yeah.
Jeff, let me put it to you this way.
Okay.
He was ready to declare his love of the game of football and his involvement over.
Yes.
That's how I had to bring him in from the.
From the abyss or something.
From the
out
edge.
there.
From the cliff.
Look, I had to
Yeah.
watch you. If he's going to be calm, I'm going to be calm.
And you were. You
Yes.
you
Yes.
made your point, and then you went on. You went about your business.
Yeah, you have to manage the next play and the next drive and the game and the rest of that. But I did have a conversation with the referee, and so as I said last night, that's between he and I.
Right.
You said you better keep it to yourself. All right. You don't have to keep your questions or comments to yourself. I know coming up we have some in-house questions. We'll get to them. We'll also take your phone calls, 969-0101, 399-0101. We'll take your text. You can tweet us. Text us at 65780 or tweet us at Rams Radio with the hashtag Fisher Show. Back with the Jeff Fisher Show on 101 ESPN and the St. Louis Rams Radio Network.
It's the end of an era.
All that spare change I used to get.
Sorry, I spilled Bud Light on you.
I wrote a song. Sorry. Here we go.
The crisp, refreshing taste of Bud Light. Here we go.
Welcome back. This is the Jeff Fisher Show on a Victory Monday. Rams clean up against the Bears. They'll be facing the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday. We'll talk more about that in the next segment. Right now, though, we want to reward some fans who come out here on Monday night and let them ask the question face-to-face with the head coach. Cindy from Fenton, you're up first.
Hi, Coach Fisher. I always think the Rams do a pretty good job at halftime adjusting, and I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about what that looks like in the locker room.
Sure, good question. We come in, the guys get in there as quickly as they can. We only have 12 minutes. And and on the back end, I bring the team out earlier than most teams. You'll see us at home always out first because I like to get them warmed up and then pull them together and talk to them on the sideline rather than talk to the whole team inside. But they'll get in there and we'll immediately split and go to opposite sides of the locker room. And we have boards up and transparent projectors, and you can't have any video in there. So coaches are writing as fast as they can and making the adjustments with the players in front of them. Half of them are sitting there with IVs in their arms and hydrating and eating and watching the coaches as they make adjustments, and then we get a warning and we head back outside.
Cindy, thank you. Next up is Steve. Good evening.
Hi, Coach. It's Steve. Where do you see Brian Quick in the future, and how do you see his development progressing?
I think he's doing a nice job. We can put him in any situation we need to. You can see he's a big target, came up with that big catch. And, we're not throwing the ball an awful lot right now. We're running it. But when he's been called upon, in the last few weeks, he's doing it. He's doing it in the practice field as well, too. Looking good. It's looking good.
You mentioned he threw a block yesterday. That's 2 weeks in a row. He threw that big one on Tavon's 81-yarder at Indianapolis 2 weeks ago. All right, next up is Kevin from right here in Creve Coeur. Hey, Kevin.
Hi. Hi, Coach. September 26th, not pretty. What in the world have you done to help turn this season around?
What day, was that a Sunday or a Thursday?
49ers game.
Oh, it was Thursday.
It was the last preseason game, I think.
Yes, there you go. That's before, in the preseason before we open against Jacksonville. Right. Yeah. Right?
Is it rabbits, voodoo dolls? What's the deal?
What's changed, or are you referring to?
It's like a different team out there.
Well, we got behind in that ball game, and couldn't really. We ran the football a little bit, but we could against them. We're doing a decent job till we got behind, and we gave up some plays to Anquan Bolden, and that we shouldn't have, and got behind, and so we're doing the same things that we did back then. We're just doing them a little better. You don't change your philosophy across the board in the organization and mid-season. We have a formula. We think it works. We just had a lot of young players, and they're starting to come together. But I wanted to make sure that they continued to have fun. That's the thing. It's hard. If you remember, that was a Thursday game. The Sunday before Dallas, and we combined those two games. We defended over 75 rush attempts in 5 games. It takes a toll on you. But good question.
Thank you,
got to
Kevin.
keep it going. Every week's a challenge. Thank you.
Kevin, thank you. Next up is Jason. Jason, have a seat and fire away.
Hey, Coach. How you doing? Jason. My question is, with where you're at now with St. Louis, how would you compare it to the time you spent in Tennessee, and what's different?
The circumstances were altogether different. We ended up moving there, moved around for a few years and didn't settle. Had been building a team for 4 or 5 when we got settled, and remember what happened, right?
Yes.
Very good. I didn't have to remind you. So, but this is fun because we're in a different era now. We're in a salary cap era. Now, although we had just started in '93 with that, we're drafting. We're taking advantage of the draft choices we got, and this is what's different is this team is much younger than any team I've ever had, and that's exciting because you get to define your own direction and formula and foundation, and the chemistry thing in the locker room's good, really good right now, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Plus, these young guys that we've acquired have proven in a short period of time that there's significant potential to be really good.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's pick up on that. There's a question came in via text that I think is going down the same road here. Paul asks, is there a play from Sunday's game that you think best represents what you want the identity of the team to be in the future?
You can't pick one play, but I can pick, I could pick 3 or 4. I'd say Jolon's hit in the backfield on the goal line.
Yeah.
And then Rob's strip caused fumble. That represents what we do in the pass rush. And then the run game, there were some great runs. There was one play early in the game where we ran a screen pass from left to right across the field. And Zach picked up, I think, maybe 11. But when the play was executed to perfection, and when Zach got the ball from Kel and turned up the alley, we had a pad on every person that we needed to put a pad on. And he went up, and the unblocked guy came from across and made tackle for a 10 and 11-yard gain. That was, it's execution, and that's what we've been doing better. We talked about this earlier, but we've had one offensive penalty in 2 weeks. And that was Scott's, and I didn't know if you guys saw anything. I didn't see anything hands to face. Yeah. No. And now Kel had a delay, but I told him to take a delay last year in Indy. So we've had one offensive penalty, and we've not turned the football over.
Yeah, that's winning formula.
Yeah.
Can you tell Roger Saffold he can make a lot of money at guard? Because he looks pretty good.
He does look pretty good.
He looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Just want to throw it out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just throwing it out there a little more.
Yeah. Subliminal
He's
man.
not bad in there. I'm just saying.
Anything else?
You know, where he's really improving is on his pull courses. You know,
he gets there quick.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Done?
Just saying.
Okay. Cody wants to know, well, he makes a statement. First, Tavon was amazing again. How do you keep the defense guessing and keep getting him involved?
Well, it takes a lot of work during the week, and it takes a lot of people getting together with ideas and executing and having things set up for, in the right situation. See, there's when you go out and we may have had a lot of other things called, but because of a defense deployment, whether man or zone, or if we got something we didn't like, we checked out of it and went to a run. So you don't, and the ball went someplace else.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still an opportunity for some things.
Johnny from Louisiana weighs in here. If Zach Stacy's unable to go next week, is Daryl Richardson healthy enough to be the backup to Benny Cunningham?
Yes. Yeah, I think Daryl's just about ready and good to go. He would be ready.
He should be really amped to go after having to sit out 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And Isaiah's kind of turning the corner now, too. 2-point play was great, well executed, and he can run.
That's two fast guys on that one play. One goes this way, the other comes out here. How do you cover?
Yeah.
I was just looking at the question.
Did I mention Saffold was going to guard?
I don't want to slight anybody if they. Yeah. Okay, here's another one, Jeff. How impressed are you with the leadership and ownership that Kellen Clemens has showed?
Been great. I mean, that's from day one. When Sam went down, that was the one thing we talked about. Is okay. It's Kel's car now. Okay, here are the keys. He's going to take it and run with it because of the way he is, the personality, the locker room, the practice field, everything. Guys they love playing for him, and they're going to bust their ass, and everybody has to pick things up a little bit. When Sam went down, and Kel's, it's fun. It's fun when your quarterback's having fun. Not that Sam did it, because Sam did too. But when your backup quarterback comes in there, it's like, what have I got to lose?
Right.
Let's just go play. But it's that thing. With any quarterback, and Kel carries it on because that's where Sam was. Is hey, you get to where you're supposed to, and I'll find a way to get the ball to you.
All right, when we come back, we'll look ahead to the 49ers matchup Sunday out in San Francisco. This is the Jeff Fisher Show on 101 ESPN and the St. Louis Rams Radio Network.
It's the end of an era.
All that spare change I used to get.
Sorry, I spilled Bud Light on you.
I wrote a song. Sorry. Here we go.
The crisp, refreshing taste of Bud Light. Here we go.
Good to have you with us tonight. A great turnout again for the Jeff Fisher Show. We appreciate everybody's participation, both in person and on the radio, internet, Twitter, all that stuff. Interesting Monday night game going on. And Joe, one of our listeners and one of your fans, talks about the fact, unique situation, wants to know who you're pulling for, because you got the 49ers on one hand that you're chasing, and you got the Redskins' first-round pick on the other hand.
It's what you call a win-win situation.
It's a win-win?
It's a win-win. Yep.
You're okay either way?
Yep.
Can't lose.
Can't lose.
Can't lose.
Yes.
Cannot lose.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
You score a touchdown versus the Chicago Bears. How long do you celebrate before you realize, I got to defend Devin Hester?
Oh, no. I mean, it's all week.
Yeah.
Yeah, all week. 19 career touchdowns, 27 career fumbles. We made it very, very clear to our guys. And, we had a good plan. Devin's a right-handed ball carrier, and he always carries the ball in his right hand. So what we tried to do was try to pin him in the right side of the end zone, or kick to our left, because he doesn't like coming out and running left because he's got all the traffic, to the ball side, and pin him there. So that was our kind of our philosophy. It worked. I thought the guys did a nice job. Greg did a nice job putting the ball, tucking in the corner there, and I think he was 18, got out to 18 to 13 and 7, and 2 of them he had penalties.
Yeah, your kickoff coverage unit's been dynamite in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it is hard to block now. They are hard to block.
Look, I'm glad that you're employing Ray and Darren Bates and getting some of that energy out, because I really don't know what would be going on in America if those two were loose in the streets and not being able to get
right.
there.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
They absolutely love it. And, we got Isaiah involved in it now. And, Stedman Bailey's doing a great job. Cody, since he came up, when TJ goes down, Cody comes up. Cody's making plays. Chase is making plays. And the parts are they're all interchangeable, so you really don't know who to block. If you could, if you're going to double team the 4, for example, we may pull the 4 out as a safety. Now the double team's got no one to block, and now you pick up a couple extra cover guys. So, yeah, we've been lucky, and Greg's hitting it well, and these guys, they love it. It's really fun, and Coach Fossil does an outstanding job with them. We spend more time, I think I mentioned this to you, we spend more time on drills on the practice field than we do on scheme. And it's because it's so fundamental based special teams technique stuff is. And that's the thing I think that gets overlooked. Everybody tries to out-scheme people. Now we're out-scheming people with the use of cards. You see Coach Fossil, he's going to hold the card up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like holding the playbook up, say, hey, let's run this, rather than memorize it and know what to do and go out there. And so they're doing a good job. We just have to keep it going.
You mentioned Cody Davis. That's the big change in football to me, and it's one of the best things the NFL has done is add a practice squad.
Yes.
Because for a guy like that, it used to be boom or bust.
Mm-hmm.
You play, if you wanted to play, maybe go to Canada or something,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't scout Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Here you got a guy that you think can help you down the road, not ready to make the 53-man roster. He gets a chance, gets elevated, and he's played very, very well for you.
Particularly because he developed his trade as a practice squad player working against the special teams units. He's on the scout team special teams unit going full speed, and that's how you get better.
Yeah.
I
know a guy that would love to have practice squads.
Who's that?
About 28 years ago.
I see.
So let's talk about the 49ers. Great challenge, obviously, playing out there. You guys went out there and slugged it out with them for 5 quarters last year. What must you do to produce an outcome more like that than what happened in late September at the Edward Jones?
Well, it's defending their run. That's what it's going to take is our run defense. We got to be much improved, and we have to adjust. I have not done a lot of study of them since we played them last, so I don't know how much has changed. But we'll have them, well understood by the time the week's up. So, but the big thing, our challenge against them is stopping their run, and then not giving up big plays, not let Colin push the ball way down the field and let him flip the field. And I think that's going to be important. And then, of course, the flip side of that is continue to find a way to run the ball against them.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do.
Are they unique in the run game? Is there any carryover from Chicago teams you've seen from what the 49ers do?
No, they're unique. Yeah, they've got a real. It's simple, but yet they execute it so well. Whether it's lead, whether it's cutback, remember the whams. All that stuff, and we've got our work cut out for us, especially inside. Our inside guys have to play well.
Yeah, it's a great matchup. That's a very good offensive line. One matchup I'm looking forward to again is Robert Quinn against Staley. That's a big time heavyweight matchup right there. That should be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, remember he went down at the end of our first matchup on Thursday night, and somebody said he broke his leg, and he got up and walked off and walked in the locker room.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he broke it or not.
Yeah.
Throwback.
He is a throwback.
Hey, dispel one thing. If this were the old days, 10, 12 years ago, could you really practice tackling now at this time of year?
Yeah, you would form tackle.
You could form tackle. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we do. Believe me, we're going to do it. We may do it on our day off tomorrow.
Yeah.
But, we are allowed to have, how about this, from here on out, only 2 more padded practices.
From here to the rest of the end of the year, 2 more padded practices.
3 after the week 10 or something. So we had one last week.
Enough said. Yeah, I guess you have to take it upon yourself as an athlete to work on your craft.
Oh yeah, you do, and you simulate it, much like we don't do it in off season because you really can't have any contact. But during camp, before the pads go on in non-padded practice, you got to form up and simulate. And we get a great deal of our tackling work in the special teams drills. Guys are doing a real good job of that.
Jeff, thank you. Congratulations. Thanks for the hour.
Coach.
Hey,
All right.
congratulations. A hand for Jeff Fisher, the Rams head coach. They're going to go take care of the 49ers on Sunday. Thank you for coming out.
Everybody, please, happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. We got Thanksgiving around the corner
Happy
here.
Thanksgiving.
Enjoy
Yeah.
it. I'm going to go work on Thanksgiving. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Kicking our feet up. All right. Want to thank Michelle Smallman, our producer, Chris Files, Dodie Rallman, our engineer. I shouldn't thank you. You were playing Wham during the timeouts here, but I'll thank you anyway. And I love you, Dodie. That's the only reason we keep you around after playing Wham. Did I miss anybody here? No, thanks to Buffalo Wild Wings for the hospitality. From my partner to Marco Farr.
49er week, baby.
Go get some sleep.
Yes, sir.
I'm Steve Savard. Thank you for tuning in to the Jeff Fisher Show on the St. Louis Rams Radio Network and 101 ESPN.